Josh Brown will be kicking off for the St. Louis Rams. And deep back for the Indianapolis Colts will be the running back Chad Simpson. He is 2 years out of Morgan State. So we're in the Dome. Very familiar surroundings, too, for the Colts, who play in a covered structure in downtown Indy.
Steve Spagnuolo said we wish this game was outside in the mud and the rain so he could slow down Peyton Manning and this Colts offense. But both teams are used to playing in domes, and he's going to have to rely on his defense to slow down the Colts today.
And there are a ton of Colts fans inside the Dome here in St. Louis. And here we go, the Rams and the Colts. On the 2-yard line, this will be Simpson. It's a block from Philip Wheeler, and then is brought down at about the 23-yard line. And there is a 21-yard return, and a flag was thrown on the play. As you take a look at Simpson, Carl Cheffers is our referee.
During the return, holding number 50 on the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Talked to Peyton Manning last night, and he takes no one for granted, whether you're undefeated or winless.
No, he understands. He says this is going to be a mental challenge going up against Steve Spagnuolo's defense today.
In the slot formation, they've got Dallas Clark from the 10, first and 10. Fake to a dive. Here comes Leonard Little, and he gets it away. And a first down catch made on the near side by Wayne. First and 10 from the 24. 43 defense by St. Louis on a first and 10. Usually a lot of noise in here when the Rams are playing well. A little bit subdued right now. Here is a guy who is hit and brought down well by Dahl. Lost back to the 19-yard line, loss of 4. It'll be second down and 15 after the loss, and they're at the 19-yard line. There are 5 defensive backs. Good block by Dean. Here comes Manning. That's caught. 38-yard line by Robinson, hit by Laurinaitis. Tagway got him as well. 19-yard pickup to the 38-yard line.
I think Laurinaitis is going to find out in the National Football League, even when they're covered, they're not covered. Look how close he is in coverage there. He expects to make that play in college, but Peyton Manning is going to throw it anyway. He trusts that his receivers are going to come down with the ball. Laurinaitis had perfect position in coverage, didn't find the football.
Quincy Butler is the 5th defensive back. It is a first and 10. For Manning. Dean will lead the way. A block by Clark. This is a dive. There's a block downfield by Saturday. And he crosses midfield and falls across the way with Long making the stop. It's a 9-yard gain.
Oh, you're talking about the stretch play. And see, they're trying to get it to the corner, and then they find the seam, one cut. And look how they ride Laurinaitis out of the hole and able to get to the second level. The Rams are doing a good job of crowding the line of scrimmage, but they're going to have to contain that ball and turn it back inside much sooner on that play.
Second down and 1 on the game-opening drive. And they continue with the 2 tight ends. Now 4 in the secondary, and the 3 linebackers in there for the Rams. And this is a dive, who is hit by Dahl and then plugged up. No gain on the play. It'll be third down and about a yard, as the Colts are doing exactly what they do. So proficient, so efficient with their offense.
And this is what they wanted to do. Come out, get off to a quick start. You know, you jump out to a 5-0 record in your first 5 games for Jim Caldwell. He wanted to regain the tempo and the timing that their offense still is a great advantage for Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator of the Indianapolis Colts. This is an uncommon opponent in the Rams in the NFC, not used to the speed and the tempo that the Colts give you on offense.
The defensive lineman Foster is the fullback, 3rd and 1, 4 in the secondary for the Rams. A dive follows Foster and carves out a first down, and brought down on the play by James Butler. It's a gain of 2, and they'll move the chains.
Yeah, talk about a little strategy for this game. How about Peyton Manning? He told us that after every single game, he writes a summary and keeps notes on the team that they played. Remember, back in week 3, they played the Arizona Cardinals. He took those notes and gave them to his brother Eli Manning. And the Giants are playing the Cardinals tonight. Well, guess what? Eli Manning, who had worked with Steve Spagnuolo when Spags was the defensive coordinator with the Giants, gave Peyton his notes on the defensive coach here today. So a lot of strategy going on in this one.
7th play of the drive, 1st and 10. Nickel secondary with a couple of tights. Here is Manning throwing to Wayne. Second catch on this drive. Got by Bartell, then is finally taken down by Dahl. All the way to the 26-yard line of the Rams, a 25-yard pickup.
Ron Bartell has to make this tackle. You can't allow yards after the catch. Right there. See, this is when they say the sideline is your next defender. Now you have to use that defender by getting him out of bounds. Now watch the comeback route by Wayne. Now just push him out of bounds, and the ball's going to be dead right there. Wayne did a good job of eluding 2 defenders to create more yards after the catch.
He's had receptions of 14, and right there 25 yards on this drive.
Excellent playmaker.
1st down and 10. With the 2 tight ends, and they've got 4 in the secondary. Here is a dive, and he gets a block on the wing by the receiver Garcon, and then he is forced out of bounds by Bradley Fletcher, who is a rookie. It's a gain of 4. He's down to the 22-yard line. Well, one of the things Manning does is he tries to have as much variety with his offense as possible, getting a lot of guys involved.
Oh, that he's going to do that, and obviously we talk about this being a complex offense. With Tom Moore. Many of the players will tell you it's simple. The problem is that you have to learn so much, and you're going to get 2 or 3 plays called in the huddle when they actually go with the huddle. It's no huddle now, but Peyton's going to change that play at the last moment before they snap the ball.
Back to the nickel. Butler is back in there. 2nd down and 6 to the slot receiver. Here is Clark. Manning incomplete. They were sending the blitz, and they were going across the way, and Pierre Garcon was the guy, and he moves deftly inside that pocket.
You know, Peyton Manning said that he got those notes from Eli Manning on Steve Spagnuolo. He said, it just confirmed what I already knew anyway. And but that's just one of the things. It's all in the family. They're going to share that information. But I got to believe that if the head coach of one team used to work with your brother in New York, and your brother has practiced against Spagnuolo's defense for all those years, that it would have to give Peyton at least some advantage in this ball game. 6
in the secondary. Collie has come in. 3rd and 6. They need the 16 on this game-opening drive. The block by a dive. Manning's got time. Great catch by Wayne. Down at the 5. Right in front of Bartell. It's 1st and goal. The pick up there. 17 on this drive. Catches a 14 and 25 by Wayne.
It's all about timing and tempo. See, Peyton wants to get rid of it. He hit the top of his drop. He waited for Wayne, but once Wayne cleared over the middle of the field, there he goes firing with great accuracy, putting the ball right where Reggie Wayne can get it. Now they're inside the red zone, and remember what Caldwell told him. We have to score touchdowns when we get inside the red zone.
That's where they are right now. 1st and 10. Make it 1st and goal from the 6. With the die in the backfield. Collie is in the slot. And there are 5 in the secondary for the Rams. Game opening drive. It started back at the 10. Here is a pass to the end zone. Collie fell incomplete. And there is a flag. I guess Collie fell because of some pressure on the corner across the way. And looks like it may go on Bradley Fletcher.
Maybe there was some contact with Collie. He couldn't get off the line of scrimmage. But was that contact made within 5 yards from the line of scrimmage?
There's no foul for offensive pass interference. There was no contact made. 2nd down.
No contact made. Let's take a look at it. Watch on the left side of the field. There he is right there.
He just fell.
Didn't see anyone next to him. And this is where Peyton Manning could be a little bit better. You know, we talk about how good he is in the red zone. His completion percentage is right around 54%. In the field of play, Peyton Manning is completing well over 70% of his passes. So you can see the completion percentage coming down in this area of the football field.
Collie is out. They brought in Robinson. Second goal at the 6 for Manning. Good block by Senator. That is a touchdown caught by Reggie Wayne. And why not? Reggie Wayne was so terrific on that drive with catches of 14, 17, and 25 yards. Game-opening touchdown pass. 4-yard touchdown right there.
The Colts are so smart in just about everything they do. Defensive players are taught to defend 2 yards into the end zone. Now watch where he runs this route. Right on the goal line. So they understand what defenses teach defensive players, and they take advantage of it. Reggie Wayne coming away with a touchdown.
Matt Stover will try the extra point. The regular kicker, Adam Vinatieri, had some knee surgery, out 7 or 8 more weeks. He drills it in. Well, a great way to start for the Indianapolis Colts. Peyton Manning has just thrown his 346th touchdown pass, and Reggie Wayne has just caught from Manning his 57th touchdown pass.
What a pair. Quarterback, wide receiver, in sync with one another early after coming off the bye week.
Pat McAfee will be kicking off. He is a rookie. Amendola, who was plucked off the Philadelphia practice squad, is inside the 5 for the Rams. Looking for a block and brought down by Aaron Francisco of the Colts. After the Peyton Manning touchdown pass and the subsequent kickoff from the 19, first down and 10 for Bulger, gives to Steven Jackson, who runs up the back of his own blocker. That was Jacob Bell, and he was brought down by Daniel Muir on a gain of 2. They're at the 21. Carney is the fullback. Quickly outside. Amendola. There's a block by Donnie Avery. And a tackle made on the near side by Buffet. And he picks up a first down. Catch and run to the 34. Bulger played at West Virginia in his 9th season. Good stop right there by Bob Sanders. No big gain there, just about a yard or 2, perhaps to the 36-yard line. He means so much to this team.
Yeah, he gives them the kind of energy they need on defense to be able to stop a player like Steven Jackson. They need a stopper, need a tackler. And boy, he's like the Energizer Bunny. And all the other 10 guys in the huddle, they feed off his energy on defense.
There are 3 tight ends, Benjamin Fells, and on the near side, McMichael. Second down and 8. Jackson remains. Flea flicker. Here goes Bulger going deep. Oh, he's got Avery. He beats Hayden, and he tumbles ahead to the 14-yard line. What a terrific play. Avery struggling with the hip, slow to get up. A 51-yard flea flicker completion.
Now, who did they get? Bob Sanders lurking around the line of scrimmage. They got him with the play fake. It was more than just Hayden. The safety, Bob Sanders, aggressive with the run fake, coming up to the line of scrimmage. It allows Donnie Avery to get behind him. And Kelvin Hayden, of course, stayed with the play, was able to get Avery on the ground, but just a tremendous play set up by the Rams offense.
Avery is out. They got the 3 wides in there. Here is a Jackson handoff, and he takes it down to about the 12-yard line, hit by Taiwan Hegler on a gain of a couple yards.
It was the play the Rams needed, because what did Mark Bulger told us? It's more than just our defense playing against Peyton Manning. Our offense has to come out, sustain drives. We've got to match them point for point and be able to put points on the board. He said the Colts like to jump out to a huge lead, and when you're playing from behind, you're at a huge disadvantage.
Lacey has come in as a 5th defensive back. They've taken out the linebacker Hegler. Second down and 8. 3 wides. That was dropped by Tim Carter, a one-time second-round pick by the New York Giants. Didn't play last year. Got him off the streets. 3rd down.
Now Carter's got to make this catch. Well thrown, and protected up front, and ball hitting right in the hands, he's got to be able to catch it. And we talked about this offense, or the Rams, playing at a huge disadvantage if you fall behind on the scoreboard. Their biggest asset is their running game with Steven Jackson. You fall behind 1 or 2 touchdowns, you can see they only scored 9 scoring drives, which is the fewest in the NFL. But you go down by a lot of points on the scoreboard. Now it takes Steven Jackson out of the game.
3rd down and 8. Fells was the slot receiver, and going in was the receiver. Going out was Bolger. They're going from Carter. Wide receiver has really been a big issue here. They didn't do much in the offseason to try to shore up some issues. They've lost some big names, and a lot of these guys are somewhat anonymous around the NFL.
Torrey Holt is gone, and that means Donnie Avery. Everything falls on his shoulder. Mark Bolger told us that he is the deep threat. We saw him catch 1 ball, but the other guys have not really produced. They've yet to have a wide receiver produce 100 yards receiving in a single game this season.
And Avery is still out. Here is a 30-yard field goal drive by Josh Brown, the ex-Seattle Seahawk. Here's the kickoff after Brown just nailed a 30-yard field goal. Simpson driven back in the end zone, and he'll bring it out for the Indianapolis Colts. Rams into his own blocker, Tanny, and then is brought down on the play by Kenneth Darby.
Ball at the 22.
Peyton Manning has already thrown a touchdown pass today from the 22. There's his young left tackle, Charlie Johnson. Hugo was there last game against Tennessee, but he is now inactive today. This is the regular guy they got there at the left tackle. Pretty important position for Peyton Manning. First down and 10. The fake to Brown is in the game. They go to Dallas Clark, who gets a lead block from the aforementioned.
So 4 passes thrown to Wayne on that first possession, caught all 4 of them, including the touchdown.
Did a great job on that drive. Kyle DeVan, by the way, has come in as the right guard. He and Mike Pollock will alter per series. It is a first down with Brown out of UConn. Lead block by Charlie Johnson. Look at the great hole he opens up, and there goes Brown, the former Big East Player of the Year. What a terrific romp. The left tackle throwing a block. Tagway makes the stop. They're going to mark him at the 27. 45-yard gain.
Watch the hole. Watch 74. They'll seal the edge, and then he just really goes untouched behind Charlie Johnson. Just a wonderful block going off the left side between Ryan Lilja and Charlie Johnson, pulling around that left side. And Donald Brown, that's easy work. And Kevin, I think you could have taken that one to the house.
I think everybody could. There's a look at Brown, who is a rookie and a first-round pick by this Colts team. They really like this kid. Part of these young kids that Manning is working with.
Very smart player, integrated into the offense, producing right away.
Timeout taken and a delay of game. They have respotted the ball too. Initially he said it was a 27. They mark it at the 22. That's right. See, here we go. They had marked the ball in the wrong place. They had marked the ball at the 22 when he was actually at the 27-yard line.
Then why is there a flag down?
Well, I think he just wanted to stop the play, okay. But they've picked up the flag. There was, well, I guess there was a delay of game on top of that. So here's the 5 yards. But initially they marked him out at the 27, then they put him at the 22. Now they're back at the 27. It's 1st and 15. Good block by Dean. That is a touchdown to Dallas Clark. He beats Bartell. Manning has thrown his 2nd touchdown pass today. And they got James Butler back there as well. They had 2 guys all over Clark.
We talk about NFC teams being an uncommon opponent. They're not used to this kind of play, this speed, the accuracy, the great throw and catch by Dallas Clark. When you think they're covered, Manning's going to throw it anyway. He takes a hit from Little, and Little saying, how did you complete that pass? How did he do it? It was a great fingertip catch from Dallas Clark, but the ball placement by Peyton Manning was magnificent.
And Clark has caught his 34th touchdown pass from Manning. There's the extra point by Matt Stover. Very efficient work by Peyton Manning, and he goes, you know, you don't think about Dallas Clark that much because you're so blinded by the other weapons, including Manning, but Clark is as good as there is in the league at that position.
In our fantasy report, we said he would put up big numbers today,
right,
and boy, he's proven us right.
McAfee's kickoff. Amendola will take it out of the end zone for the Rams. And he was hit by Jacob Lacey, who's a rookie, and he's brought down at about the 21-yard line on a 24-yard return.
Absolutely. I think they were able to lure the aggressive Bob Sanders up to the line of scrimmage with some play action fake. It was a flea flicker. They faked as if they were going to run it. You know he wants to get up there and stop Steven Jackson. Let's see how much more disciplined he can be on this possession.
Looked like Antonio Johnson may have moved. He did. There's a pass outside going to Keenan Burton, who is 2 years out of Kentucky on a gain of 5. Calvin Hayden was over here covering on the near side for the Colts. At the 26.
Offside, number 90, defense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
They didn't call Antonio Johnson. They called Daniel Muir, who was waived by Green Bay. And with Ed Johnson gone, and there was some question as to why he was cut. Was it his off-the-field activities, or was it just a lack of production on the field? And they said it was on the field issue.
Yeah, and you talk about these penalties. It was the thing that Jim Caldwell told us last night. They have to clean it up. He said, that's one of the areas I wanted to address during the bye week, already hurting them on that play.
Couple tight ends, including Randy McMichael, is atop your screen on 1st and 5. Steven Jackson, there's Muir with the catch and a gain of 2 up to the 28-yard line. It's hard to think that a team that's 5-0 would have any issues, but you're right. He named a couple last night, and penalties was one of the issues.
Yeah, and the ability to produce in the red zone was something. He said there were many that I could point out, but he only gave us 3. Talked about the penalties, talked about scoring inside the red zone, and then he said getting off the field on 3rd down. They were able to strike on that flea flicker on a 3rd down play, and so he wants his defense to get off the field in those situations.
2nd down and 3. Here is Jackson, who is tripped up, and then Brackett makes sure he goes down at the 30-yard line on a gain of 2. There's a look at Steven Jackson. He carries the ball so much for this team. In fact, he's got 120-some carries. The rest of the running backs a combined 15 carries. He gets a lot of touches.
Jim Caldwell pointed those numbers out to us and said, so you know who we have to stop in this ball game. Steven Jackson is their leading rusher. He also is the leading receiver for the St. Louis Rams. Donnie Avery nicked up a little bit last week, and so he's putting in all the work running and catching the ball.
Dawson is in on that defensive line. 3rd down and 1. Outside they go, and that's caught by Amendola. Knocked out of bounds, but a 1st down catch and run. He was hit by Calvin Hayden, who's back after an injury. Picks up 14, and that is a Rams 1st down.
This is exactly what Jim Caldwell was talking about. 3rd down situation, got to be able to get off the field. You see Amendola gets outside of the contain man, Calvin Hayden. He's got to be wide as the widest, is what we say on defense. And when you're not out there, he's going to catch it and turn up to create yards. And so you see the Rams converting another 3rd down opportunity.
By the way, Donnie Avery is back out on this series. Top your screen. He was injured the last time he caught it. 44-yard line, 1st and 10. Here comes Muir. There goes the pass. There's a drop by the fullback, Carney. He is a guy who's had most of his success with the New Orleans Saints. 2nd down and 10.
You have to wonder if that ball was tipped a little bit because it was too easy to catch. And Bolger is normally a very accurate passer. Let's see if the linebacker was able to get a hand on it. No, Brackett couldn't hit it. Actually, it hit Carney right in the hands. You've got to be able to make that catch.
2nd drop, 3 incompletions. You know, the margin for error for this team is so small.
Well, that's why they've lost all 5 of their games. When those opportunities presents itself, you've got to be able to capitalize.
Couple tight ends on 2nd down and 10, and this is a leap block by Bell, who was pulling, and a tackle was made by Brackett on Jackson. Flag is thrown. Gain of 2 as it stands now.
Number 63, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
There's Jacob Bell, the former Tennessee Titan, joined the Rams prior to last season. Boy, there was a lot of praise from the Colts about the interior of this offensive line.
Caldwell said that this is the best interior offensive line that we've seen. There's Bell. You could see him hold right there, but he complimented the center, Jason Brown, and both guards, Richie Incognito and Jacob Bell. They are a load. There are 3 big guys in the middle who have to anchor this offensive line for Steve Spagnuolo, but you can see penalties have hurt the Rams all season long.
Lacey comes in as an extra defensive back for the Colts. They got 5 back there, 2nd and 20. They need the 46 of Indianapolis. This is Kenneth Darby, the running back, who is hit by Buffet, who leads the Colts in tackles, and he weaves his way to the 45 and picks up 11 on the play. Darby is out of Alabama in his 2nd year.
The Rams are doing a really good job sustaining drives. We already saw Peyton Manning make quick work on that last possession, scoring with about 1:28. Real quick, bam, bam, down the field. But Spags knows that they've got to keep Peyton Manning standing on the sideline, and they've got to be able to move the ball. More importantly, these long possessions, they've got to yield touchdowns. They've got to get points on the board.
The athletic training staff is looking at Steven Jackson on the near sideline. Thus, Sam Congato and Darby are in 3rd and 9. And this goes to Darby. Another drop pass. 3 drops. 4 incompletions. He drops this, and he still would have been shy of a first down. They had to get to the 46. That was dropped at about the 49, and they got a punt for the first time today.
Yeah, but you got to be able to make a play for your quarterback. Bolger says, you know, we do have some young guys, and we are struggling to try to get this offense to where we want to be. He said, but we're just not there yet. I don't have the guys that I once had here in St. Louis.
Donnie Jones will punt, and deep back will be T.J. Rushing. Jones has a terrific throws and a great net. Last year averaged over 50 yards a punt. Second time that's ever happened in the history of the NFL. Great hang time here. And fair caught wave was sent. It was saved by Roach. It was picked up by Silva. He downs the ball at the 2 on a nice hit by Paris Lennon with a hang time of over 5.9. They aim for 4.5. First down and 10 from the 4 for Manning. In the backfield is a dive. Look at the great block on the near side by Lilja and others. They were going for Wayne. The coverage by James Butler at about the 22-yard line. Starting the second quarter, second down and 10. There was an incompletion ending the first quarter to Reggie Wayne. Pollock is back in as the right guard. Ayu is on the defensive line for the St. Louis Rams. There's a block by Johnson. There was a drop pass intended for Clark. They pick it up, but Otagwe will stop in mid-motion. That was ruled incomplete. They really whacked Clark, who caught a touchdown pass earlier in this game.
Yeah, he has this ball caught, and watch 37. James Butler comes in and dislodges the ball as he throws himself into Dallas Clark, separating Clark from the ball. Keep your quarterback clean. Good things tend to happen. You know, the Indianapolis Colts have had 3 possessions all season long start inside their 10-yard line. Twice they have gone to score a touchdown on that possession. So they're used to being backed up, but they're also used to producing.
5 in the secondary, third down and 10. Good block by Johnson. That was deflected, I think, and it was caught by Wayne, shy of the first down. He's up to the 13-yard line. Gain of 8. And over there we had Bartell, who was defending, and the Colts have got a punt.
This ball is just a wounded duck, and luckily Reggie Wayne had the presence of mind to come back. See, the ball's hit right there?
Yep, it was
now
deflected.
Watch how it just floats up there. If this ball's intercepted, it can be returned for a touchdown, and Reggie Wayne smartly and alertly comes back to make it a completion, but short of the first down mark.
3 and out. Lawan Ramsey was the one to get up there and knock it away. So Manning, after throwing 2 touchdowns on his first 2 possessions, will punt right here. The rookie McAfee will send this high. Amendola is back at about the 36. Hang time of 4.6. And he'll weave his way, and he's brought down by Melvin Bullitt at about the 45. A lot of interesting attachments for the Colts in this game.
Oh, look at this. I mean, Indianapolis going for their 15th straight regular season win. Caldwell trying to become the 5th rookie head coach to start 6-0. And Peyton Manning aiming for another 300-yard game. And this is something the Rams don't want to happen. They want to avoid a 17th consecutive loss.
Jackson is in. 5 defensive backs for the Colts. There's a handoff to Steven Jackson, who was hit and brought down by Bethea, and also got some help from Dwight Freeney. Picks up 3 to the 48. We did not address this the last series for Peyton Manning. There was a pass that he threw. Now watch as he comes down on his leg. For whatever reason, it was was it his left or his right? Look, his right there. A couple weeks ago against Tennessee, he was hit in the left knee, but appeared to have no issue with that. And in practice this week, no issue at all. So his knees have been hit.
And you see those numbers? No issue at all.
No.
The way he continues to produce.
So far, so good. Second down and 7 to go. Go outside. Amendola leaving and brought down on the play by Clint Session. He's up near the 50, a gain of 2 on the play. They had, 619 total offensive yards last week in the snow in Foxborough against Tennessee.
Scored on 9 consecutive possessions. That's like the Madden video.
It is, you're right. Regardless of the year, third down and 6, 5 in the secondary. They go inside. Freeney. Dwight Freeney was watching Daniel Fells. How about that? Dropping back in coverage. 3 and out for the Rams. They got a punt again.
They've got to be able to produce this excellent field position on a third down play, and you can see just really good coverage. How about Freeney? He's not pass rushing, he's in coverage. And I'm sure he wants to go after the quarterback, but boy, he showed that he can make plays in space defending the pass.
Donnie Jones will punt again. 8 years out of LSU. Came from the Dolphins as a restricted free agent a couple of years ago. Deep back will be T.J. rushing inside the 10 for Indianapolis. Darby with a good block. Nice hang time and fair caught by rushing at the 13-yard line for Indy.
Because I think this is the deepest pool of quarterbacks that we've had in the 90-year history of the league. And we're looking at, I think, the truly best of the bunch.
Here they go at the 14, their 4th time they've had the ball. 1st and 10, this is a dime. And following a Saturday block, and Laurinaitis is the one who makes the stop after a gain of 2.
And he told us that when he plays in a game, he really is going up against the opposing team's defensive coordinator. And today he's matching wits with Steve Spagnuolo, the guy who stopped the Patriots run in 2007.
Good point. 2nd down, long 7. They go to Garcon. He cuts back inside. Got some great blocking in there by Devan. And then Sloan, he fumbles the ball. Turnovers have been a problem for the Indianapolis Colts. It was recovered, though, by Indy at about the 34. They jumped on the loose ball. I don't know if Collie got it or not. 17-yard gain as it stands. Yep, Austin Collie was there to help his teammate Pierre Garcon. It is a 1st down.
Oh, that's an excellent play. You see the speed and home run hitting ability of Pierre Garcon. But when you're a young receiver, got to learn to protect the ball. And see, he doesn't protect it there, has it stripped. And what did Jim Caldwell tell us? Said when we have not played well, when we have stalled in our offense, is when we have done this, when they've turned the ball over. Fortunate they didn't turn it over there.
Still the nickel, and here comes a die. Johnson trying to afford him a block and brought down by Laurinaitis and also by Duzable across the way. It's a gain of 5. Bartell was in there too at about the 40-yard line. But the thing about Manning is he always tries to do something in the offseason. One time he had in training camp, he had a camera in the end zone watching his eyes. He was worried that maybe he was letting on to the defensive secondary where his eyes were pointing. He wanted to work on that and camouflage.
And doing a much better job now of looking off the defenders, pump fake to uncover receivers in terms of not indicating where he really wants to go with the ball.
2nd down and 5. And Manning looking for Dallas Clark, who's got a touchdown pass already today. Dahl in the secondary was covering him. So there you take a look at Peyton. You know, we've got such great equipment. CBS, all the networks do. Sometimes you can hear maybe a little bit too much, at least in Peyton's view.
Yeah, he doesn't want the dialogue that he's currently having right now to be heard and picked up by our parabolic microphones that we have on the sideline. He was saying, can you guys turn those down a little bit? You know, people are going to the television copy to pick up what I'm doing and what I'm calling at the line of scrimmage.
Well, some guys do that. 3rd down and 5. There's a nice looking pass and a 1st down catch. 47-yard line. They hit Reggie Wayne. Jumping on him was Quincy Butler. Gain of 7. 1st down.
Yeah, this is just really good execution by Peyton Manning. And what about the protection by the offensive line? And so you could see just coming right underneath after Austin Collie cleared out. Wayne comes underneath, is able to make that catch.
You talk about the protection. He hasn't been sacked in 14 quarters.
Wow, that'll keep you healthy.
It will. Only twice all season. 47, 1st and 10. It's a die. And looking for some blocking out there. There just isn't much. And they're going to give him about a gain of a yard, maybe 2. Laurinaitis out of Ohio State, the rookie, brings him down.
You were talking about defensive players picking up on what Peyton Manning says and does at the line of scrimmage. How about the rookie James Laurinaitis told us in our production meeting that he went to the television copy to try to pick up on the timing and tempo of this offense and even what Peyton Manning is doing at the line of scrimmage. This is probably one of the best players I've ever talked to in a production meeting. Being a rookie and sounding as if he's a 10-year veteran, picking up on the little things.
2nd down and 8. There's a fumble by Adai. Picks it back up, and then he was brought down by Ayu as he crossed the 50, picks up 3 to the 49-yard line. Well, you got to look for any advantage you can. And, you know, you talked before about these being uncommon opponents, and you've got to learn as much as you can in a very short time.
You really do. And Laurinaitis, you know, he quoted Ray Lewis saying that if you try to play mental gymnastics with Peyton Manning, you already have lost the game. And he understands it. He, along with Lofa Tatupu, guys playing in the NFC, they said that, boy, it's a whole nother ball game when you're matching wits with Peyton Manning.
6 in the secondary, 3rd and 6. Donald Brown is at the side of Manning. Outside for Garcon, got by Ottagwe, knocked down by Fletcher, and he's shy of the 1st down. He's to the 44. He picks up 5 on the play.
Well, the St. Louis Ram defense, now they're locked in to what they're trying to do. Now they're getting defenders to the ball, but the first guy's got to be able to make the catch. Garcon does make the first defender miss, but their ability to swarm, and the second guy, Fletcher, does get the tackle. And now the Rams defense has been able to stop this Colts offense on 2 consecutive possessions. Spagnuolo loves what he's getting from the defense.
Manning was just so irritated going back to that sideline. It's only 4th and a yard. And here is the punt sent downfield by McAfee. Fair caught. Amendola. 2 consecutive punts for the Colts after 2 consecutive touchdown passes to begin the game. From the 8, 1st and 10, Steven Jackson. Sent up the middle. Looked like Freeney, maybe Raheem Brock was there on a gain of 3. As our 2 quarterbacks of note so far in this game.
There's your comparison there. Obviously, Peyton Manning getting off to a fast start coming off the bye, and Mark Bolger simply doesn't have the same weapons that Peyton Manning is surrounded by. And, you know, Mark Bolger is certainly capable of making plays. There's a guy that he's gone to Pro Bowls. He's played in the postseason. He's one of those quarterbacks I put on my list as a guy who you can win with.
A tight end on 2nd and 7. Wow, and that's a loose ball. They're going to calm down. Freeney got to him, and Bolger, who's had the bad shoulder, was just ripped to the field. Looks at his left hand, as you can see, and Freeney is right there with the sack.
He beats the rookie, 77, Jason Smith. He just uses the speed. It's all out speed and a race to the quarterback for Dwight Freeney.
That's a rookie he's going against.
He's going up against a rookie. Their 1st round pick from Baylor, Jason Smith, playing at left tackle.
7 sacks now, and you can see 7th consecutive game with the sack. He had 10 last season. Almost forced another fumble. 3rd and 16. And the challenge flag is out. They want to see if indeed the ball would come out before the knee went down.
You think you might want to help Jason Smith, a rookie tackle, going up against the likes of Dwight Freeney? Just a little bit of help. That's all.
Freeney's so good. Alex Barron is the other guard out there at times. It's Smith right now at that position.
The ruling on the field is that the quarterback's forward progress was stopped before the ball came loose. That is not challengeable. 3rd down.
So the Colts are going to load up their secondary with all kinds of players.
Let's look and see. What they mean by it is that he was going backwards. He had already had his forward progress stopped and was moving backwards when the ball was coming out. I think this is a fair call. Can't challenge, you know, in terms of his momentum.
So 3rd and 16, they need the 18-yard line. As you take a look at Smith, who had missed some time. He had knee injury, started the first 2 games, missed the last couple, then played a little bit in Jacksonville last week. 3rd and 16, nickel secondary. And Steven Jackson, just to try to give him some breathing space. Eric Foster was on the defensive line, among many that bring him down. And he's to the 6-yard line, and 3 and out for the St. Louis Rams.
And if you're the Rams, you have to go conservative there. After what you just saw in terms of the speed and that pass rush, your inability to protect Mark Bolger, we told you at the top of the show that's one of the reasons. They've given up an average of 47 sacks in each of the last 3 years. And so if you get into this position, you've got to be able to run the football, punt it out of that area, and not give up a big play.
And here's Donnie Jones, who has never had a punt return for a touchdown. This is rushing at the 47, 4-4 on the hang, and there he runs out of real estate across the way and shoved out of bounds on the far side by Darby. The long snapper, Chris Massey, as you can see, being helped onto the golf cart. The backup is the tight end, Billy Badgema. You can see the special teams guys for the Colts going over to say hello to him and wish him the best. And let's see the hit. He got crushed pretty good right there. Was that Tammy that came and got him for the Colts? I think it might have been. Jacob Tammy.
I didn't get the license plate on that truck because he
nor did Massey.
It was like a bolt of lightning, and Massey never saw it coming.
There are a lot of injuries on these special teams. These guys are moving with such velocity, such speed downfield.
Yeah, and the competition committee did make some changes. Obviously, it's still football, and you're going to be subject to getting hit because people are coming from different angles at high velocities in terms of the rate of speed. So you can't totally make everyone immune from injury.
Right guard is Pollock. Again, we rotate with him and DeVan throughout every game. In the backfield is Brown. First down and 10. 4 in the secondary for the Rams. Good block by Brown and Lilja. Incomplete. Nobody home. Everybody cut in. That ball sails over everybody to the frustration of Peyton Manning. Second down and 10 as we take a look at the South and the undefeated Colts.
You know, the winner of this division seems like every year jumps out to a 5, 6, 7 consecutive win streaks to start the season. The Titans, you see at the bottom, 0-6. They got off to a 10-0 start before they lost a game last year and ended up winning the division. And Jim Caldwell, in his first year as a head coach, has this team off to a flying start.
Quincy Butler becomes the 5th defensive back. Second down and 10. This is Brown. A team block. Blocked by Johnson. He's in the secondary. Laurinaitis brings him down. 28-yard line. A 13-yard burst by the rookie from UConn.
I'll tell you why
he's got a
so
stinger.
good.
Look, he's holding on to his left arm.
I'll tell you why he's so good. See, he doesn't try to get to the outside. He knows you got to get upfield. See, the more you can get upfield and press the line of scrimmage, that's where the yards come. So many young players try to get outside, and then the speed of the game will catch up with you. As a rookie, Donald Brown has learned well early on.
First down and 10. Adai has taken the place of Brown, and this is Adai out of LSU. Leaving his way, brought down by Quincy Butler. That is a gain of 3 by Adai. So Brown, and he's playing with a heavy heart. We mentioned he went to UConn. This is a guy that was a friend of the late Jasper Howard, fatally stabbed about a week ago, as a matter of fact, and Brown knew him, played with him, and everybody in the UConn community still suffering with the loss of a friend.
Very sad. Played inspired against West Virginia, a game they did lose, but boy, it really has brought that team closer together.
Second and 7. This is Clark. He was brought down by Dahl at about the 18, close to a first down. 6-yard pickup with the terrific tight end Dallas Clark.
And quietly, this offense is now moving again. They seem to have stalled on their last 2 possessions, thanks to that run by Donald Brown that you talked about. Nice throw here to Dallas Clark. Clark, I think, has quietly become one of the top tight ends in the National Football League, especially in the AFC. May have a Pro Bowl in his future this season.
Third down and 1. We've just been told Reggie Wayne has a strained groin. We don't know if he's going to return. 3rd and 1, 4 in the secondary. Adai, good looking block by Charlie Johnson. Brought down on the play by Laurinaitis, the Butkus Award winner, gain of 5. He's got a first down. He's inside the 15. In this day and age, Solomon, in the NFL, you've got to have at least 2 running backs. St. Louis has got Jackson. They got to hope he stays healthy.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, more teams are going to that, and even with the best running back, say in Minnesota, with Adrian Peterson, they still have Chester Taylor, but here in Indianapolis, it's Joseph Adai, it's Donald Brown. They have always kept 2, even going back to the days of Edgerrin James.
Back to the nickel in the secondary. Adai is in 1st and 10. Running outside, there was a block by Collins, and then a terrific tackle on the near side by the rookie Bradley Fletcher out of Iowa. No gain on the play.
See what happens when you try to get outside, when you try to go toward the sideline? The speed of the defense will catch you. You got to get vertical. Woo! Or that's what you'll get. A stamp in the middle of your chest.
2nd down and 10. Hank Baskett becomes the replacement for Wayne when they go to these 3 wides. Baskett, Colley, and Garcon. I don't think they thought this would be the look of the receivers when the season began. 2nd and 10. And this is Colley coming off a 2-touchdown reception performance a couple of weeks ago. Brought down at the 6-yard line. He was hit by Dahl. He was whacked by Fletcher. Picks up 9. And he'll be shy of a first down by about a yard.
Well, Colley has certainly stepped his game up. You know, becoming a guy after Gonzalez had left the game. And now we'll find out, with Reggie Wayne out, just how much Pierre Garcon and Austin Colley can help carry the offense.
5 in the secondary. You see the 2-minute warning is upon us. After the third consecutive St. Louis punt, the Colts took over on the 41 of St. Louis, and the big play has been a 13-yard run by Donald Brown, who, by the way, is on the sideline, injured right now with the shoulder.
Yeah, and they need him because whenever he's come into the game, he has really been a spark for this offense. They've got some young players, including Donald Brown and Austin Collie, who have integrated themselves in the offense and have produced immediately.
Basket is the third receiver. 3rd down and 1. The guy is in the backfield. The dive. A block by Pollock, and that is an easy touchdown for Joseph Adai. His 4th rushing touchdown of the season.
Jeff Saturday, Mike Pollock, Ryan Dean right on this right side. That's where the seams are, and that is too easy. They were able to cut off James Laurinaitis and able to get a hole over on the right side of that line. He went in untouched, and rarely do you see that happen in the National Football League.
Extra point now by Matt Stover. All those years in Cleveland and Baltimore. 1:57 to play in the second. Perhaps the most efficient offense in the National Football League. First 2 possessions, they got a couple of touchdown passes, and there Joseph Adai rushed it in from 6 yards away. You can see what he did on that drive, taking the place on a drive that was designed for Donald Brown, but he's got a strained shoulder, they tell us. He may not return the rest of the game. Pretty good looking drive, huh?
A very good looking drive, and Colts doing it a little bit unconventional. 5 run plays, 3 pass plays.
Well, they're the 29th rushing team in the league. They want to try to bolster that a little bit as the season goes on.
That drive would help.
Right, Amendola will take it the other way. Got by Wheeler, then was snuffed by Jamie Silva. 28-yard return. Silva.
The Rams now have to get something going, Kevin. They've got to keep Peyton Manning over there next to his offensive player sitting on the bench, where you can see he's been perfect. Look at it in the second quarter, 14-14 against Tennessee in that last game.
Bullet, Lacey out there as extra defensive backs. Here's a run on 1st and 10 by Steven Jackson, then tripped up after a gain of 9 on the play. Looked like the secondary brought him down. Bullet was there.
Smartly getting the ball in the hands of their best weapon on offense, Steven Jackson. Allow him to fuel the offense and move him around in different positions.
Second one, Goldberg with the block on Mathis. They come to the near side. That was caught by Keenan Burton. He worked down Lacey, picks up 5, stops the clock, 43-yard line.
Already saw Burton drop 1 pass today thrown to him by Mark Bolger. That catch was much better, attacking the ball. And so Bolger's going to need the guys on offense to start catching the ball. One thing they like to do, they like to move Steven Jackson out in space. So many teams are giving him an 8-man front. In order to get the ball in his hands, you might have to line him up at X or at Z at that wide receiver position to get the ball in his hands in space.
And he takes a lot of space.
He sure does. He's a big guy, isn't he?
1st down and 10. Goldberg with the block, and that is caught. Once again, it is Keenan Burton hit by Brackett, knocked down by Bethea. As you take a look at some of the numbers, time of possession is interesting.
Yeah, the Rams got to keep the ball much longer than that. You can't give Peyton Manning the ball the majority of the time. 5
in the secondary, 1st and 10. This is Jackson, and then they devour him with the tackle by Raheem Brock, who sometimes plays up, sometimes in a 3-point stance. Gain of 4, down to the 41.
Yeah, and right now they're getting Steven Jackson lined up, and both teams so far in this game have thrown it more than they passed. You say it's a passing league, but you cannot get away from Steven Jackson.
Nickel secondary, 2nd down, short 6. Here comes the rush. He runs into his own blocker. Then Mathis has got him. And also Foster, Eric Foster, who has been terrific. Bulger's played for 9 years. You get sacked that many times, you feel like you played 19 years.
Oh, man, like a human pinata. He's taking his lumps.
3rd down and 10. They need the 35. Nickel secondary. The receivers deployed. There is a hold by the left tackle. Was not called. There was a kind of a shot put pass, and down again goes Bulger, and holding on to his right arm this time. He was whacked pretty good on the play. Watch the hold on Freeney here by Barron, Alex Barron. They got a new left tackle in.
Yeah, Alex Barron replacing the rookie Jason Smith. Not doing much of a better job. Had to hold Freeney as he was in the middle of that spin move.
Freeney's already got a sack today. 2 registered by the Colts defense. very fast defense.
Yeah, very fast to the ball. They swarm. That's how they play. They're a little bit undersized, so speed is really the strength of this Colts defense.
Here's T.J. Rushing, who didn't play last year because of a knee, retrieving the Donnie Jones punt. He's going to wave and get the fair catch at the 11. Flag is down. 33-yard punt. Flag was thrown about the 19-yard line. Look at Donnie Jones. We told you before, one of only 2 punters to average 50 yards or more in a season.
Holding number 43 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down, Indianapolis.
Sammy Ball was the other one that was over 50. And he was going to go down to a knee here.
Okay.
Ended up Manning with touchdown passes of 4 and 27 yards. And a 6-yard touchdown run by Adai. But there were a couple of injuries of note. Reggie Wayne, strained groin, may not return. Donald Brown, strained shoulder, may not return. Alex Barron is in there right now from the 35. First down and 10. Play action for the quarterback Bulger. That is the 4th drop pass today. That one dropped by Steven Jackson. Why does it always seem the bad teams always drop the ball? Whether it's Cleveland or St. Louis, drops always become an issue.
Being a bad team is a product of dropping balls. When you drop passes like that, then it's going to be tough to win. You see no touchdowns in their last 19 games in terms of the first possession of the second half. So 19 straight games. When they have start the second half, they've not been able to score a touchdown. And I'm sure Steve Spagnuolo is wishing it comes to an end. Right here, right now, it's got to start with Steven Jackson catching the football.
Penalty was on the Rams, drives them back to the 25, so it's 1st and 20. 4 in the secondary for the Indianapolis Colts after that holding call. This is Jackson. Running outside, he was tripped up by the rookie Powers. Gerard Powers got him initially to the 36-yard line, a gain of 11 by Jackson.
What a magnificent spin move on Clint Sessions as he shoots the gap. Now watch him right there, 55, right there, making a miss in the backfield. Whenever a linebacker gets that kind of penetration into your backfield, it's usually going to blow up that play. Jackson did a magnificent job making Sessions miss in the backfield and turning it into a positive game.
4th all-time Rams leading rusher with Dickerson, Falk, and Lawrence McCutcheon ahead of him. 2nd down and 9. That is caught, and the tight end Nick Michael holds onto that ball, brought down by Taiwan Hagler to the 43. It's a gain of 7.
Oh, yes, where are the stars under the big top that used to be the greatest show on turf? Well, here's one.
Well, didn't that surprise you when you saw this earlier this week?
Since 2006. Look at the names on that list. Adrian Peterson, LaDainian Tomlinson, and Westbrook. He's outperformed them all in terms of average rushing yards per game over the last few years.
The rookie Moala is on the defensive line for the Colts. 3rd down and 2. Tony with the block on Mathis. That is caught for a first down. Calvin Hayden makes the tackle at the 49-yard line. The grab goes to Avery. Picks up 9. First down.
Watch Mark Bulger thread the needle. We said he had to be on the mark. Look how many white jerseys are around Avery. 3 defenders there, and he still squeezes it into a tight window to convert the 3rd down. Good play by Mark Bulger.
Muir now comes in. Moala stays. Raheem Brock is playing the defensive end on the near side for Mathis. 1st and 10 from the 49. Jackson held by Daniel Muir down near the 45 and picks up 4 on the play. Well, this guy has had probably the biggest impact on this team. He's a first-round pick out of Oregon State, and he's a player that really they can hang their hat on a rebuilding project.
And I loved it when we talked to him on Friday. He says, you know, I didn't come here to lose, but what motivates me is the fact that I follow a tremendous legacy of running backs who've played here. He talked about Eric Dickerson and Marshall Faulk and other guys like Lawrence McCutcheon. Boy, some real good ones here in the history of this team.
Freeney thought somebody moved. Was he induced across the line? It is false start Rams.
False start, number 70, offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Alex Barron, first-round pick out of Florida State about 5 years ago, and here are some of those names we're rattling off in the history of the Rams.
You know, look at all of them, over 5,000 career rushing yards and all the touchdowns. And look, he's already passed Lawrence McCutcheon in terms of his overall touchdowns. And if he continues to run like he's running now, he's going to pass some of the other guys on that list to become the team's all-time leading rusher.
And former Colts, too, Dickerson and Falk, 2nd down 11. Moala is chasing him, and that is almost intercepted on the play by Hagler. Taiwan Hagler then some shoving after the play to Jason Brown, the center. Incomplete.
Bolger taking some chances there. He saw his guy come open, but then you took your eye off the defender. Taiwan Hagler did a good job getting that hand up. Now he's got to just haul it in, make a play for your defense. Isn't that what Jim Caldwell said? We've got to produce more turnovers on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, this defense is not that bad. Number 7 coming into the NFL week 7.
And look at that. No interceptions in their last 24 games. So certainly needing to get their hands on the ball.
3rd and 11. They go outside to Jackson. Foster's got a beat on him. Jackson can't go any further. He's down at the 48, and he's also hit on the play by Session, loss of a yard. And they got a punt. The Rams got a punt for a 5th consecutive possession.
Oh, Foster just made a tremendous play as a defensive lineman. He showed some athletic ability, getting out on the perimeter, staying with Jackson where he sensed it was going to be some kind of screen play, and he just aborted his pass rush and went and got the ball. It's just real good heads-up play.
Donnie Jones will punt for the St. Louis Rams inside his 37-yard. Rushing will rush over and let the ball bounce, and it's going to be well placed. We're going to down this inside the 5. At the 2. Good news for Colts fans. You see 87 there to the left. That's Reggie Wayne. He is back in there. We were told he was questionable, but he's back in. Colts 3rd start inside their 10 today. Ajayi is in the backfield. Brown is still out. A couple tight ends. One of them's got it. Robinson, who is tackled across the way by Paris Lemon, the ex-Lion, ex-Packer. 12-yard line, close to a first down, about a gain of 10 on the play.
And you just saw the numbers in terms of how successful this offense is at scoring on their first possession in the second half since 2005. 32 touchdowns, scoring 45% of the time. The next closest team only scores 20% of the time on their first possession in the second half. So a very competitive football team in Indianapolis.
1st and 10. The 2 tight ends, Joseph Adon. Clifton Ryan among a couple over there to make the stop, and that is a gain of 2, and he's out to the 13. They made a trade, did the Rams, this week, trading a starting linebacker, Witherspoon, to Philadelphia.
Yeah, Will Witherspoon, and now it leaves Laurinaitis, the rookie, really as the leader of that linebacking core. He calls all the defensive plays, just as a rookie, already understanding how to get his team lined up. And when you lose a player like Witherspoon, I think it takes a mentor away from Laurinaitis, but he's such a smart football player.
That's a complex defense.
Absolutely. Their coach Spagnuolo, he's going to put in some complicated things, and Laurinaitis has been able to digest every bit of it.
2nd and 8, a little bit low to Colley, and the coverage on the play by Butler, by Quincy Butler. Look at Colley.
Talk about Indianapolis wanting to score on every possession. The ball thrown at the feet of Austin Colley. But their coach, Jim Caldwell, said, we don't ease into anything. We jump right in. They worked in the bye week. The #1 offense going against the #1 defense. That's how competitive he wanted all their drills.
DeVan playing that right guard. It's 3rd down and 8. There are 5 in the secondary remaining for the St. Louis Rams. A guy at the side of Manning. Outside for Colley. Grabbed. Shy of the first down, hit on the play by IU off the defensive line. It's a gain of 3. Mark him at the 17. The Colts will have to punt.
You know, when Colley caught this ball, he looked up, found the first down marker. But look at the speed of the defense at the NFL level. These guys are bigger than Colley and was able to run him down. He thought he was going to get there, but the speed of the Rams defense was able to save the day.
Amendola is back for the St. Louis Rams. Joined this team in mid-season. High snap, pulled down cleanly by McAfee. Very little hang time, but you can see the great rush down there by Rusher.
Peyton Manning, he's #1 in completion percentage, 9.8 6.1 yards per pass attempt, as well as quarterback rating. So he's #1 with a bullet in a lot of different areas.
Jackson on 1st and 10. Good looking block by McMichael. And finally brought down by the defensive lineman Muir. He's got a first down, pickup of 12. He's down to the 48.
Did we say that he had sweet feet? Yeah, he's a big guy, and we said he had a wicked stiff arm, but look at the sweet feet. Hopping over guys and able to just drag people. This is what the Colts really feared, is his ability to create yards after contact, where he is the best in the NFL.
Rock in place of Mathers as the defensive end left side. 1st and 10 with tight ends out there for Jackson. Good block by Goldberg. Good block by Brown. Tackle made by Buffet. So we just had a 12-yard run. He rattles about 11 off right there. He's got another first down to the 37 of Indianapolis.
I love the fact that despite the score, Pat Shurmur, the offensive coordinator of the Rams, not getting away from Steven Jackson. Look at that hole. Look at that hole. I mean, that was just as pretty as it gets. And then his ability to create yards after the contact, coming right at you. Would you want to be Antoine Bethea right there, number 41, with him having just a full run coming right at you?
Jackson,
I've been in that position.
Yeah, I know you have. What'd you used to do?
Well, I did exactly what Antoine Bethea did. Hold on and pray.
1st and 10, Jackson, the number 4 rusher in the NFL. Carney with the block. There's a block by Barron. Look at him corkscrew into the grasp of Kelvin Hayden. Another run of double digits. 13-yard pickup. He's down to the 24 of the Colts.
One consecutive run play after another. He told us, I have to be able to sustain drives. Put it on me. We have to win the time of possession. And then the blocking up front on the right side, Jason Brown, Richie Incognito. And then they've just able to get, of course, Steven Jackson to the second level. Now he's going to come out and take a break. And you can see he's already increased his yards production in the second half beyond what he did in the first half.
1st and 10, Maiola is back in there, and there is a tackle by Mathis, who just checked back in, loss of a yard, back to the 25.
Samcon Gatto trying to come in and spell Steven Jackson, number 35. Not able to really get it done there. You can see the penetration. How about the play by Mathis getting into the backfield, holding on and making a tackle.
Jackson with runs of 11, 12, and 13 yards on this drive. 2nd down and 11. Samcon Gatto, formerly of Green Bay and Houston. And he spells the tight end in motion. Here they come through. There's no place to go here. Daniel Muir was the first one through, then Session. There was just no breathing space, a loss of 10 back to the 35.
Daniel Muir just wrecked this play. Watch number 90 right there. He just beats Jason Brown, the center, from day one on that first step. Just exploded into the Rams backfield.
Jackson back in. The defensive line of Foster, Raheem Brock now playing the tackle. Mathis at one end and Freeney at the other. 3rd and 21. Jackson blocked by Goldberg, who was pulling. Down to the 27. Brackett was there. Antoine Bethea makes the stop as well. 8 of 8 down to the 27.
Steven Jackson is the workhorse. That was his 16th carry in the game. Over 90 yards rushing. Approaching 100 yards on the day.
Well, he's got 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons. My guess is number 5 is
Look at him.
in his thoughts.
You know, he earns every penny. I mean, he clearly is their best player. And he has not sulked at once. I mean, this team has lost 6 straight games just this year. 0-6 as we see Jason Brown come on.
Here's
Josh
a
Brown.
45-yard field goal by Josh Brown. He puts it in, so they get 3. Jackson with 91 yards rushing. Huge gains of 11, 12, and 13 on that last drive. They get a 45-yarder from Brown. So here's the ensuing kickoff now coming up from Josh Brown. And deep back will be Chad Simpson for the Indianapolis Colts. And about 2 yards deep. And the return man with a Fader Kyle block. Colts will have it 1st and 10 at the 31. Manning with 2 touchdown passes. One to Wayne of 4. One to 27 of 27 yards to Dallas Clark. Pitch out to Adai. Pulling Dean. Pulling Johnson. And the tackle made by the rookie out of Iowa, 3rd-round pick Fletcher. Second down and 8. A dive drilled on the play by IU. C.J. IU out of Oklahoma, originally drafted by Buffalo. And the gain to the 36. He picks up 3.
Watch the speed in which IU is able to close on the ball. Number 98, look at that. Good leverage, good lick. Laid on Joseph Adai, and Peyton Manning actually was spiked to the turf by Chris Long,
who has not got a sack this season for the Rams defensive line, which has been a story here in St. Louis. Maybe not living up to the lofty expectations of a number 2 overall pick. Third down and 5. Wayne first down. Brought down by Bartell. Gain of 7. Reggie Wayne has had a nice day receiving, 6 catches. Now 7 with that one right there. And by those completions, he just passes Warren Moon for 4th all-time in NFL career completions.
He's hitting a lot of these career marks and passing up some real big names early in his career. This is his 12th NFL season, but boy, is he accomplishing so much in just a short period of time.
Collie is in, 1st and 10. Dean running outside. Butler will be there, and Fletcher finally bangs a die out of bounds. 41-yard line and a loss of 2. The thing is about Manning is he just expects so much from those around him, in particular guys like Garcon and Collie.
And Collie even said it. He said, there's no way I would be this far along in terms of what he's been able to do early in his rookie season. He said if it wasn't for Peyton Manning, he said Manning pushes us, and they're all the better for it.
He got frustrated though early, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Second down and 12. 5 in the secondary, and Manning will throw right into the nickel. That's caught by Pierre Garcon. And he was hit by Dahl. He gains 4. He's to the 45. He demands these kids put in extra time, and they've done that, both Garcon and Collie.
Garcon said that I would come to the line of scrimmage. He said that first week against Jacksonville, my head was just spinning.
Here's a quick pass on 3rd and long. This is the aforementioned Austin Collie, who is out of BYU. Martell was there. Tagway was there. Gain of 17, matching number 17, Austin Collie. He was the 127th pick in the draft. And he was the number 1 receiving leader in all of college football last season for BYU, pass receiving yards.
And you know what? He's a football junkie. I mean, here's a guy that took a 2-year mission to Argentina and stayed away from the game for 2 years. Had gained 14 pounds. He said he went from 196 to 220 and had to really get back in football shape when he was at BYU.
1st and 10. Victor would die. Good block by Johnson. He's looking for Garcon. He's in a sandwich with Fletcher and a Tagway. Second down and 10. Great time for Manning. That ricochets off the palms of Garcon, who is in his 2nd year, and Pierre Garcon is out of Division III Mount Union. That did get him right in the hand.
You know, Peyton Manning, he told all of us, hey, just slow down on the praise you're giving all these young guys, Pierre Garcon and Austin Collie. He said, you know, everybody thinks they're not making mistakes. He said, oh, they're making plenty of mistakes. I could show you.
3rd and 10. Here they go deep, and they're looking for Wayne right there. Bartell is back there with Reggie Wayne, and Manning does it a lot. He tries to speed the thing up a little bit and trying to catch the defense off guard, or at least they can't make any personnel substitutions.
Yeah, he tried to go with the quick count, catch the defense off guard a little bit. That time, Bartell was in perfect position against Reggie Wayne. They had converted a 3rd and 7 and 3rd and 8 on that drive, but you can see a 3rd down play right there, not able to convert.
9 plays and punt. And this will be Pat McAfee, all-time leading scorer in the history of West Virginia football. And it will be fair caught by Amendola. Look at our tote board, number of plays per half so far. Here comes St. Louis from their 10 after the 2nd consecutive punt by the Indianapolis Colts. Here in the 2nd half, 1st and 10. Running in the backfield with Jackson. Probably the lead block. Good block too by Jacob Bell, and it's a run by Jackson. He's brought down by Melvin Bullitt. Out to the 23, pick up a 14. This Jackson well over 100 yards now on the day, 105 and 17 carries.
This is what they have to continue to do. This is why they're winning time of possession now in the 2nd half. is that they're sticking the ball in the belly of Steven Jackson. They're providing holes up front on the offensive line. He's getting to the second level of the defense. And right now, he's forcing the defense for the Colts to earn their money.
Sanders is out, by the way. Bullet is in. Here comes a 1st and 10 pass. That's intercepted and picked off on the near side by the rookie Jacob Lacey, a rookie free agent out of Oklahoma State. There's a flag thrown, 35-yard return. Maybe excessive celebration with the throw into the end zone. What a play by Jacob Lacey, a 3-year starter at Oklahoma State. His first career interception is good for a touchdown return.
We say pressure leads to picks. They've been getting pressure on Bolger all day long, and so he has to throw it out on the flanks.
27.
And so you can see that the wide receiver and Bolger were not in sync. Lacey was able to break on it. And so the receiver has to be able to break at the same time when the ball is released from Bolger's hand. Lacey saw the ball coming, the receivers did not.
Lacey started against Tennessee a couple weeks ago. And the interesting story on Jacob Lacey, he beat out Dante Hughes, who was a 3rd-round pick a couple years ago. And this kid is a rookie free agent out of Stillwater with Oklahoma State. Jacob Lacey, his first career interception, good for a touchdown.
Now watch and see. This is where the receiver has to be able to break. See, he had his back to the ball and didn't come back to the ball. And so that's why the ball was able to be picked off. Burton was not in sync with Bolger on that play. He allowed Lacey to get right in front of him, and see the hit on the quarterback right there.
Antonio Johnson levels the quarterback. You know, they gave him a penalty flag for the excessive celebration. You know, that was a bad call. I mean, I know that the league dictates something, but that was a simple slide, and he throws the ball away. I mean, was it really that bad?
It was a celebration, but it wasn't excessive, at least not in my mind.
And we see this in college, too, that these guys try to put the pressure on these teams not to do that. Look at this. The offense has scored 5 touchdowns this season, but they've allowed 4. So they're +7.
Like, that's a net 1.
Yeah, yeah, +7 points, or 6 points, I guess, for the touchdown.
Well, yeah, it's like, you know, you score 5 touchdowns and you give up another 4, then basically you're negating any productivity that you have had. And I think Bolger understands where he's at with this group of wide receivers. They're very young. They really don't possess a lot of playmakers on the perimeter of this offense, and so it's going to take some time for those guys to get in sync.
With the penalty, he was back, and here's the kickoff at the 12 for Amendola. And he follows a Carney block, and he is out to the 37-yard line. Hit by Tammy, number 84, and also Keontae Dawson was in there on the stop. A 25-yard return.
Okay, you see the interception here by Lacey. Let's see if he gives us maybe a little too much in the end zone. I'm not so sure if this is too much.
Well, let me ask you,
what did he do? What did he do?
Well, what's the difference with the guy? What's the difference with the guy if he leaps and does a somersault into the end zone, as we see him so often do, or just fly in, leave their feet? To me, that's no different than what that kid did just right there.
Typically, excessive celebration means that you've used some kind of prop or you went beyond a natural act. I thought that was a very bad.
Here's a 1st and 10, and Jackson. He was hit initially by Brackett, and then he stays on his feet. It takes Muir and Tywan Hagler to bring him down, close to a 10-yard gain and a 1st down at the 48-yard line.
We now have Jackson over 100 yards rushing in this game. 17 carries, a $105, and most of it have come with him getting yards after the contact. He's just dragging Colt defenders. You saw keeping the ball in his belly, good things happen. Throw the ball on the perimeter, bad things happen for the Colts on offense.
And 114 yards now at that last run. Again, Sanders is out. They were going to put him on a pitch count or a play count today. They told us that. Jackson again. Nice block by Bell, the left guard. And then he's brought down by Bullock. 14-yard gain. This guy is amazing. On a winless team, they've lost 16 consecutive games. And this guy is playing like it's the last game he's ever going to be. Gatto is in right now. Amendola is on the move. Bolger, here they go, the pocket crumbling. Little shuffle pass off of the tight end, McDaniel. And he was drilled in the play by Kelvin Hayden. It's a gain of 2, and he's down to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, he thought he was going somewhere on that play, but boy, on that hit, McMichael came to a complete stop. Listen up. That's like running into a brick wall. All your momentum comes to a complete halt.
Foster comes in on the defensive line. 2nd down and 8. Mathis and Freeney are in. Greenbrock is the left defensive tackle. Jackson hit by Mathis and brought down. And that 2nd and long, that 2nd and 8. He's down to the 36 and no gain on the play. Bob Sanders walking off the field, coming back after missing the entire beginning of the season. And there he goes. He's sure been injured a lot in his games. What, 45 he's played and 40 he's missed in his career.
Yeah, he said, hey, coming into this league, you know, playing my style, I knew I would miss a lot of games. I thought that was a very telling statement by Bob Sanders. He says, I only know one way to play the game, all out 100%. He does throw his body around, but he's not going to change it one bit.
John Powers looks like he might rush. He backs off. 3rd and 7, 5 in the secondary. That's caught for a 1st down. Near side, Keenan Burton. Working on Powers on the near side along with Melvin Bullock. Gain of 11 on 3rd and 7. That's a 1st down.
Now this is much better of the quarterback wide receiver being in sync in terms of their timing. See, that ball was out of his hand. Burton was coming out of his break and the ball was on the money and on time. Burton, I think, on the interception took his route way too far down the field, allowing Lacey to steal the ball from Bolger.
So with Jacob Lacey guarding on that one, he'll be taken out. They put Powers over here on Burton at the bottom of your screen. 1st and 10. Jackson back in. Amendola. Antoine Bethea chases him down about the 17-yard line. Nice quick pass. Good tempo on that. Gain of 8 as they're moving downfield.
A nice quick tackle by Antoine Bethea. He doesn't make that tackle on Amendola. It's going to be a touchdown. Amendola's a quick guy. He went to Texas Tech. Kind of remind everyone there of Wes Welker, who also went to Texas Tech because of his speed and his quickness with the ball. But Antoine Bethea has been, I think, a steadying force in this secondary with Bob Sanders out for all of those 5 games to start the season.
2nd down and 2. Jason Smith was playing the right tackle. Here's Amendola once again, brought out of bounds by rookie Powers. He picks up 3. He's down to the 14-yard line. Talking about Danny Amendola, he joined the Rams before week 3 off the Philadelphia practice squad. And you were talking about his career at Texas Tech. Last year he was with the Dallas Cowboys on their practice squad, then Philly's practice squad late. He caught 103 passes senior year at Texas Tech, which was good for 4th in all of college football.
And you can see the quickness that kind of reminds you of Wes Welker.
1st and 10 from the 14. Jackson running with the block, chased outside by Clint Session and brought down from behind. No gain on the play at the 14-yard line.
Jackson has been so good. We've already seen him complete a number of passes on the perimeter here in the 4th quarter because he was so good in the 3rd quarter of pressing the line of scrimmage, running the ball. He accounted for 94 of the Rams' 98 yards of total offense in that 3rd quarter.
2nd down and 10. The Rams only 1 second-half touchdown this year. Lining up with a couple of tight ends here. Bolger. Steven Jackson. Heil driving his way into the tackle of Gary Brackett with a gain of 4 down to the 10.
What did Jason Smith tell us? He said you got to create a big hole because he's a big guy. You know, it's not like he's going to be able to squeeze right through some small hole. And you could see right there Steven Jackson ran right up the back of his offensive lineman and still created a hole. The rookie Jason Smith. He is going to be a good player. I know he struggled some early here in his rookie year, but he's a hard worker, great in film study. You know he's going to become a player.
He's played both left tackle and right tackle today. 3rd and a long 6. Bolger looking at a guy. He's on the ground. That was McDaniel, and the coverage on the play by Brackett.
Bolger was smart.
McMichael. I said McDaniel.
Yeah,
McMichael, excuse me.
Bolger he had to get rid of the ball, but he already saw McMichael going to the ground, so he just tried to throw it his direction, hoping he could draw a flag, knowing McMichael was already on his way to the ground and could never have caught that ball.
Randy McMichael, who was 8 years out of Georgia, of course, had the early part of his career played in Miami. And he is a terrific addition to this offense. 4th and a long 6. They're going to go for it, obviously, as you can see. Lined up, Jackson is the wingback on the far side. 5 in the secondary. Here comes Mathis. That was intercepted by Kelvin Hayden. And then tackled on the play by Burton. Calvin Hayden makes the grab. That's his 7th career interception. He has missed the last 3 games. The pass that was just intercepted was intended for that guy, Keenan Burton. Now, after the pick by Hayden, 1st and 10 for Manning. The guy running outside, and Bartell kind of steers him to the side. Brown is injured, so Donald Brown, who hurt his shoulder earlier on, will not play. That's a gain of 4.
Take a look at the interception. There's Keenan Burton. See, he's supposed to go in front of the defender, not behind him. And that's where Bolger is expecting him to be. When you allow the defender to get in front, he's going to make a play on the ball. And that's why Burton's on the phone. He's pleading his case, but he's not going to win it. 5 red zone turnovers, the most in the National Football League now by the Rams.
2nd down and 6. Dan is in there as that guard, and there's a pass outside for Robinson, who was belted out of bounds by Larry Grant, along with Fletcher. Grant making his first NFL start today.
And that's why Peyton Manning is such a taskmaster when it comes to having his receivers do the right thing. So much of playing quarterback in the NFL is about anticipation. You've got to trust your receivers are going to be in the right spot and throw the ball early before they get there. When they make mistakes, the ball ends up in the hands of the defender. That's the difference from what Mark Bolger is working with as opposed to what Peyton Manning is working with.
So after a gain of 9, it is a 1st down near the 20-yard line, and Joseph Adai. There's a block by Robinson. There's a block by Lilja. And the tackle made by Atagwe. 11-yard pickup. That is a 1st down.
Absolutely. And what Bolger's dealing with, you know, it's a lot of young receivers. And so there are sometimes when interceptions are made, you think it's always the quarterback's fault. And sometimes you have to put it on the wide receiver.
Chad Simpson in the backfield. And he gets the call here from Manning on 1st and 10 before he is hit on the far side by Butler. That is James Butler. It's a gain of a yard. James Butler came as a free agent from the New York Giants. Steve Spagnuolo thought it would help institute his defense carried over from the Giants by putting the guy who was familiar with it in the secondary.
He's made some plays today. He's been able to break up some passes, and he's been in the right position for the most part today.
2nd and 9. Laurinaitis made the hit. Gain of 1 as it stands. You see the flag symbol. It's been thrown on the field. As we continue to decipher what's going on. You know, you look.
Defense 12 men. On the defense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Manning has been the quarterback for the Colts since 1998. So they've had 1 quarterback since 98. The Rams have gone through 12 different quarterbacks, including Bolger and Kyle Bowler, who they got as a free agent from Baltimore.
And Manning has started every single game in 12 years. This is his 12th NFL season. Since he came into the league, he has started every single game. Just amazing.
182nd consecutive start today. 2nd down and 3 on the 39. Adai is back in. That is a catch by Hank Basket. His first catch as a Colt, picks up 5 and slides to about the 43-yard line. The ex-Philadelphia Eagle, who was signed in the middle of September.
Basket is a guy that he can make some plays for you. You know, he's a guy I think is a tremendous addition. He was picked up after week 1 when Anthony Gonzalez was injured.
He had 6 starts a season ago for Philadelphia. Special teams demon. 1st and 10 from the 44. And a dive. There's a good block by Robinson. Tagway brings him down as Shimago makes the tackle at about the 49-yard line with a gain of 7.
Significant gain on this run play on 1st down. You could see the offensive line. This is the area of their football team where they feel like they can improve the most, averaging 78 rushing yards per game, ranked 29th in the National Football League. And the 5 guys up front blocking, they take it seriously. They're almost kind of tired of talking about it. Why is the running game struggling? Even Peyton Manning said it's not to his liking, not just yet.
Manning, by the way, with 227 passing yards. He's had 5 consecutive games with 300 or more. 2nd down and 3. Trying to get him in a bunch. Here's Garcon, broken up nicely by the rookie Fletcher. Bradley Fletcher. is right there to make the defense. And there is a player down at the 5-yard line, and that is Fletcher.
Watch the hand fighting between the wide receiver Pierre Garçon and Fletcher, but see Fletcher continues to fight through.
Ooh, oh, you see his left
and
knee.
You can see the knee buckle just a little bit. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So 6:36 to play as they take a look at the left knee of their 3rd-round pick rookie out of Iowa, Bradley Fletcher. And they take off Bradley Fletcher. We'll try to get an update on him. Taking his place now, Jonathan Wade on the near side. 3rd down and 3. Here's a dive. Trying to cut the corner. Atogwe was right there with the stop. He's got the 1st down. 45-yard line, picks up 3 yards on the play. Let's revisit that play.
Good sign to see Bradley Fletcher walking. Watch the left knee right here. See that? Wow.
I'm not watching.
Well, that's just bending in a way that it's not meant to bend. And the fact that he can put weight on it and walk to this point, it's an encouraging sign.
Manning was over on the sideline as you see them continuing to work on Fletcher. Manning was over on the sideline arguing the spot of the ball. We thought he'd gone down at the 45, but they must have seen him go out of bounds, and he's short by a length. Manning would love to go for it, and they are.
If Peyton Manning says, hey, coach, I want to go for it, do you kind of go for it? You know, he's kind of a good, you know, if you're going to turn the game and put it in the hands of your quarterback, he's a pretty good one to allow him to take over the game. You know, Jim Caldwell, having served as the quarterback's coach here previously, has a lot of trust in Peyton Manning.
Yep, he was Manning's quarterback coach the last 7 years. And as we told you earlier, he was the handpicked successor for Tony Dungy, who retired. 4th and inches. Boy, they spread out all their guys here, don't they? They keep an eye in the backfield. You see all the people clumped up the middle there for the Rams as Manning surveys.
This is where he'll check maybe to a pass play, knowing that in the middle there's no yards to be had. He's going to put them in the most favorable play to convert this 4th down.
Well, the play clock is down to 2, down to 1, and Manning calls a timeout.
Welcome back to the Edwards-Jones Dome in St. Louis. Jim Caldwell decided to challenge the spot. Watch where the ball is now when the knee is down here, but see the ball should be short of the 45-yard line, where they actually place it as short of the 46-yard line. I think Jim Caldwell should win on this challenge. See, now you're going to have some heads in the way here, but still the ball's right here, and there's the 45-yard line. So I think they marked the ball outside of the 46, Kevin. So clearly, by the ruling that you can see there in terms of the evidence, I think they need to move the ball inside of the 46-yard line, just short of the 45, and that will be enough for a 1st down.
Well, the marker on the near sideline is just inside the 46. The ball, as it stands now, is directly on the 46. The nose of the football is touching that 46-yard hash mark.
Yeah, and then from the look at this play, the ball should have been placed closer to that 45-yard line, and certainly inside of the 46, which is right there.
So as they continue to take a look
Belly
at
of the line.
Okay, that's where he's down. As soon as that knee went down,
they may respot and then remeasure.
After review, the ball will be respotted to the middle of the line, and we will remeasure.
And they're still going to be short.
they said to the middle of what line?
Of the hash mark.
He didn't say what line.
Well, the hash mark, and they're still going to be short. Look at Jim Caldwell, who's coached with the likes of Joe Paterno at Penn State, Tony Dungy with the Buccaneers, and of course with the Indianapolis Colts. And getting a chance to begin NFL head coach. We've got 2 first-year NFL head coaches here. Steve Spagnuolo, who's right there beyond that number 4. And they're still going to. Oh, and they gave it to him.
Yeah.
Well, then the
That's what I thought.
marker on the sideline was wrong.
I thought if they would place the ball inside of the 46 and the nose of that ball
called it. You're right.
Inside the 46, that it would be a first down.
Well, where the ball is placed right now is wrong by about the length of a football. Look where it is now, because it had just crossed that hash mark. So they've given him another half yard. I mean, like it really doesn't matter. I mean,
well, verbally he said that they were placing the ball in the middle of the line. He didn't tell us what line, but we're assuming it was the 46-yard line.
Can you believe we're sitting here discussing this in a game that's 28-6?
All we want is some consistency.
That's right. You're right. You're right. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it right. They're going to leave Chad Simpson in the game. You just saw Dye taking a breather on the sideline. Again, Manning, who's had 5 consecutive 300-yard passing games at 227 right now. First down at the 45, officially the 45. And Simpson, Clark with the block, and torn down by Clifton Ryan just inside the 45-yard line. Second down and 9. The Colts have come in having won 14 consecutive regular season games dating back to last year. As you take a look at Tom Moore, who they thought they were going to lose, along with Howard Mudd with a pension snafu. Both were considering leaving full-time. Then they rectified that. Now they're back as the senior at that position, the senior offensive coordinator.
Senior consultant, that's right. And it's really smart in terms of how they were able to bring them back and maintain some continuity, and that's why you have the kind of winning streak that the Indianapolis Colts are on. Take a look at some of the most successful or consecutive regular season win streaks, where the Patriots sit on top with 21 straight wins. Right now, where the Indianapolis Colts, in terms of what they're doing, I think just tremendous, high productive football team.
Simpson gained 3 on that last play. That second down play, now it's 3rd down and 6. The ball is at the 41. Baskett is a receiver at the top of your screen. Payton finds Garcon, breaks a tackle with Dahl. There's a flag. Jonathan Wade comes in and makes the stop among many. Gain of 7 as it stands right now at the 34, and a first down if it calls.
Pass interference, number 85, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
We're talking before how Manning has worked with these receivers. This kid was on the team last year, mainly as a special teams player, was Pierre Garcon, and one of the guys that he really credits with his entry into the NFL is the now no longer Colt Marvin Harrison. He said Marvin Harrison really took me under his wing and showed me the ropes, and I'll be forever indebted to how he guided me as a rookie.
Yeah, you go to a school as small as Mount Union, and then you come to the National Football League. You have to have someone, a veteran player, who's going to shepherd you and teach you and show you the tricks of the trade. And when you can learn from Marvin Harrison, that would expedite your growth, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. You surprised, by the way, that he hasn't been not signed by this team in particular, but any team in the league?
Oh, not really. I mean, let's face it, I think he had lost a step. And obviously, you play one system for a long time.
3rd and 16 for Garcon, and he dropped the ball. There's a flag at the 6. Double teamed by Wade and Itagwe. Wade has taken the place of the injured Bradley Fletcher. Wade has started some games this year. In fact, he started the first 4, so the former 3rd-round pick out of Tennessee.
Pass interference, number 21, defense, automatic, first down.
Was back there with Itagwe, and Itagwe gets called.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. He's working against the corner and the safety, trying to split the two. Ball over the top. See Itagwe pulling there prior to the arrival of the ball, and Itagwe is not looking to play the ball. See, he's just fighting and pulling the hands down of Pierre Garcon, trying to prevent him from making the catch. And the rule states that Itagwe has to play the ball and not the man. He created contact well before the arrival of the ball.
So a 43-yard penalty in essence. Collie has come in as a 3rd receiver, 5 in the secondary, 1st and goal. Manning, touchdown, Collie. His 3rd in the last 2 games. An 8-yard touchdown pass, Manning's 3rd touchdown pass today. He's got 15 on the year, and he's got 348 in his career. Unbelievable.
And watch Manning operating like a surgeon. As soon as the linebacker steps up, and you see it, Collie gets inside of the safety, it makes for a very easy throw for a touchdown.
Austin Collie is Manning throws his 3rd touchdown pass this afternoon. Here is the extra point by Matt Stover. So the Colts are playing their 4th road game in the last 6. Have just got another touchdown pass from Manning, his 3rd. He's hit Wayne, he's hit Clark, he's hit Colley. Dye had a touchdown run. Ensuing kickoff. Amendola at the 2-yard line for the St. Louis Rams. Moved here in 1995 from California. And brought down on the play by Tammy. It's a 22-yard return. You see the 235, that was a costly penalty that was called in the secondary of the Rams, a 43-yard penalty.
Yeah, he's trying to become only the 3rd quarterback in NFL history to have 6 consecutive games with over 300 yards passing, and on those 2 pass interference calls, one on Garcon erased a 10-yard completion, and then the pass interference called on Otagwe, that would have been for 43 yards had Garcon caught the ball. So you're talking about an additional 53 yards. We're giving 288 at this point.
I need an abacus here to figure out what you just said.
I'm going to tell you though, you think
he's
a smart kid. Don't you think he knows?
I know. Manning, by the way, has got a 1st and 10 with Bulger. And here's the other star of the game, Steven Jackson, who's brought down by Daniel Muir and tumbles to the 24, picks up 3. Amendola was the one who returned that kickoff. There was a player injured. One who finished that was IU, and he walked off the field. As you take a look at Jackson, he hobbles getting up. 2nd down and 7. There is Antoine Bethea. He is a little bit lame. Jackson is going to come off, and Sam Congato, make it Kenneth Darby, will come in and take his place. And there's a pass. Daniel Fells with the tight ends gets that 31-yard line. Picks up 7 on the play. Just finishing up Manning. He now has gone 17 quarters and 163 pass attempts without being sacked. He's only been sacked twice all season long in 6 games. Not bad.
See, you gave me a couple of numbers. I understood all that.
I know you. Well, you're smart. You went to Colorado. Here's a long pass, and it's incomplete. With the pass intended for Keenan Burton. And Jerron Powers was covering. Bulger on 4th and 1. That is dropped incomplete. They were going for Donnie Avery, and that will do it. You and I saw Pittsburgh last week, and Woodley, who has been kind of having a so-so season after that incredible playoff run last year where they played the 3 playoff games. He had 2 sacks in each game, finally kind of getting into his rhythm right now on defense for the Steelers.
I think that's how that entire team in Pittsburgh is playing. You'd rather play them now because you certainly don't want to play them later. They're gaining momentum every single week.
Here's Jim Sorge. He's going to finish things up for the Colts. The 6th-year quarterback out of the University of Wisconsin. A handoff goes to Simpson. There's a block by Foster. Laurinaitis is chasing. Look at him fly down the sideline. How about that? Chad Simpson has just scored his 1st career touchdown. 31-yard burst by number 35.
Now, this is what you hate to see if you're Steve Spagnuolo. Your defense is fighting, and then at the end of the game, you allow one to get out the back door. Simpson just races around the sideline to get this one in the end zone to give the Colts more points on the scoreboard.
Chad Simpson was the MEAC Player of the Year. He began on the practice squad in 08, then became a reserve running back last year and kickoff return man. There's the extra point by Matt Stover. And everybody getting in the act. The only bad news today is that Donald Brown was injured earlier in the game with a strained shoulder. And there's a look at Peyton Manning, who will fly home tonight to Indianapolis on a short 35-minute flight. But the streak of 300 yards through the air has come to a close at 2:35. But he'll take a win in a perfect 3-touchdown, no interception performance.
Yeah, you look at those 3 touchdown passes and you still know it was a good day for Peyton Manning at the office.
Manning, who says he fills about 10 notebooks every season with all kinds of observations and notes. I don't know if there is a guy that takes it. I mean, there are guys that take it seriously. Then there's the Manning way of taking it seriously, right?
I mean, after this game, he'll do a summary.
Yes.
And he'll take notes so that if he has to play him again or have to play against one of the coaches, you know, he'll have those notes. And, of course, he passed some of those notes on to his brother. So if Eli is playing that team, he'll get to take advantage of what Peyton Manning has been able to notate from playing against a similar opponent.
Amendola is brought down as he crosses the 20-yard line. And he was hit by Tammy, 20-yard return. Dating back to 08. On the 21, 1st and 10. Jackson is out, and they've got Kenneth Darby in the game. He's out of Alabama. He gets the call right here. And he was hit by Freddie Keaho along with Ramon Humber after a gain of 3 to the 24. Well, there's been no speed bump whatsoever, has there, from the baton being handed from Tony Dungy to Jim Caldwell. You see the score, Manning with 3 touchdown passes. They've had 2 touchdown runs on the ground, one by a die. Moments ago, Simpson from 31 yards. 2nd down and 7. And Darby with the block by Fells. And a tackle made by Lacey, who returned an interception of Bulger for a touchdown. Gain of 3 right there. Here's what the Colts have coming up. San Francisco, which the last I saw, they were getting whacked by the Texans. I haven't seen a score lately, but they got San Francisco coming to Indy, then Houston, and then that Patriot game on the 15th. I guess 24-21. I guess it was 21-zip. Houston. So San Francisco
made a game of it, but Houston certainly is a good team, good opponent. It's going to be a much anticipating matchup in the AFC South when Houston pays a visit to Indianapolis in 2 weeks. And I think Houston is a team on the come.
Well, 17th consecutive loss. A lot of this inherited by Steve Spagnuolo. And now they go to 0-7. They came close last week, losing in overtime down in Jacksonville, 23-20. This guy who was trying to turn things around, still stuck in neutral with the ball club. They play at Detroit next week. Boston couldn't bring him down, and Philip Wheeler comes in and jumps on Sam Congatto, who was studying to be a doctor when the NFL called. He's up to the 34-yard line, picking up a couple yards. Steve Spagnuolo learned under the late Jim Johnson at Philadelphia, carried those methods to the Giants, took them along with Tom Coughlin to a Super Bowl. As I just said, Detroit will be on the schedule next week. 2nd down and 7 from the 34. And again, the snuff. Led by Humber and led by Jamie Silva. That should do it. Sam Congatto thrown for a loss